Now on One, new faces and new problems at the Arkenfield stables in a new series of Trainer.
Probably cause another accident. Get out of the village and call an ambulance!
Children to temptation? Will it sanction what's...
Easy.
James? James?
Can I help you?
I was looking for James Brandt.
Aren't we all? I'm afraid Mr. Brandt's unavailable. Unless, of course, you happen to know of his whereabouts.
He's been away in the Bahamas. He was due back this morning. I was hoping to have a word.
Yes, I've also been trying to have a word for some time now. I'll have those cabinets taken as well, please, Robin.
Right. Look, would you mind telling me what the hell's going on?
If you're still interested, summer nights could fetch a fair price at stud.
Not the only one.
Seriously, Yvonne, you should think of retiring him.
Not again, Hugo, darling, please.
No, I just thought I'd mention it while it was on my mind.
Wonder if I could persuade you to put it out of your mind. For the time being, at least.
I can't talk now, Elaine. I'm in a meeting.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but this is important.
Yeah, it had better be. What is it? There's a rap on the shin, a few cuts and bruises. Apart from that, he's all right, isn't he?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Get him boxed up, Danny, will you?
Mo's the one for that. He's Earl's. Yeah, well, Mo's at the osteopath. Now, just do it, Danny. You know, if Pride runs like that in a race, could win the Derby.
Yeah, no good winning without a jockey. How about yourself? How are you feeling?
Okay.
You sure about that? You took a hell of a fall.
I'm all right, really.
Now, but once the governor finds out,
How do you think he'll react?
bet he'll be well pleased he offered you the job. As long as you type as well as you ride.
Hey, get on with your business.
It's only a bit of a joke.
Hey, don't fret yourself, love. Keep the head down. I'll have a wee word with the governor. Governor, a bit of a problem with Pride of the Hills. He whipped around, dropped his shoulder up in the gallops, and poor Emma was gone. So was the damn horse. He took off like a rocket. We didn't catch up with him till outside Aldworth.
Is Emma all right?
The only thing hurts her pride.
The horse?
A few scratches, no problems.
Poor Emma. Well, she'll have to get used to it. We've all been dropped.
Well, it's David Ware I'm worried about, Governor. His car near hit the horse head on. Ended up overturned in a ditch. Total write-off.
What about David?
Well, I was going to get Pride settled and then give the hospital a ring, see how he's doing.
Better let Rachel know.
I phoned already. She's out. The housekeeper's trying to track her down.
What a day.
Why? The meeting with Brandt didn't go well?
Not exactly.
The number of times I passed this way as a student, I never got tired of the view. Each time I saw it, it was as if I was seeing it for the very first time. As if for one brief moment it was all mine. Just as it had been my father's and my grandfather's. And God knows how many other students before them. I found it overwhelming at times. So many dreams.
What about yours? What were John Gray's dreams?
To ride a winner.
And that was it?
Yes. Well, there were other interests, of course. History, art, philosophy, but nothing quite touched me like the beauty of a thoroughbred in full flight.
Depending on the odds.
No. Back then, all I wanted to do was ride. And with a father expecting his son to follow him into the diplomatic corps, you can imagine the problems that caused.
And Harriet?
Her mother was on my side. All she wanted to do was to follow me into the winner's circle.
That figures. Who else influenced you?
You're about to meet him.
What's so special about Professor Campbell?
His enthusiasm. His motto was, Atque inter silvas, academi irritabile verum.
Seek feverishly for truths in the groves of academe.
Good. Yeah, he's quite a character.
What about this merchant banker? What did she have to say about it?
Not a lot. And won't until she completes her investigation.
Into what?
Good question.
Well, what could have happened to him?
I don't know. Brandt's obviously in some kind of trouble.
Well, then so's Arkenfield. If he's done a runner, Mike, where does that leave you?
Listen, I've been there and I know how you feel, but you're the one that's got to show the horse who's boss.
I am.
Yeah, because if you're nervous, then they'll sense it.
Excuse me. I wonder if you could help me. I'm looking for Mike Hardy.
He's in his office. It's just over there.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure.
Morning.
What did she want?
Dunno. Obvious what you want, though, isn't it? And you.
Who is she?
I don't know. Know who she thinks she is, though. It.
All right, you lot. What are you waiting for? The idea is to ride the damn thing, not stand there gawking at it.
Well, I'm only supposed to ride out first lot.
Well, you're riding out second lot as well this morning.
Well, who'll answer the phones?
The answering machine.
Yeah, but the governor might want me to do some typing.
Emma. Honestly, the only way to get your nerve back is to get back on.
Just relax, you'll be fine. As long as you hold on tight.
Right, you lot. Pull out as quick as you can. I'll see you up there.
Andrew? How are you? Are you feeling well?
John?
You're in. I'll think about it and let you know.
Hold your tongue or you're out.
Good to see you, sir.
And you, dear boy.
Professor Andrew Campbell, Rachel Ware.
Delighted to meet you, Mrs. Ware. I've heard a lot about you.
And I about you, Professor.
Oh, Andrew, please.
Thank you. I'm Rachel.
I think you should explain the significance of that little incident, John. Otherwise, Rachel might be inclined to believe that we're completely round the bend. Mind you, the state the world's in nowadays, perhaps you and I are the only two sane people left.
I don't know about that.
Lateral thinking, dear boy. Intolerable, this one. Always questioned everything. Well, now, are you going to explain, or shall I?
Professor Campbell had somewhat of a reputation for wrong-footing his students.
Totally unfounded, I hasten to add.
Don't listen to him. It was awesome. When I first came up here for my interview, I knocked on the door, came in here, and there he was, this legendary Don. And he totally ignored me, just sat there reading his newspaper. So I set fire to it, to try and turn the tables. Wrong-foot him.
I knew immediately that this young man had a real spark. Figuratively speaking, of course.
John tells me you're interested in making an investment.
Very interested. And I'm particularly looking forward to hearing more about this breeding scheme of yours, Rachel.
I should warn you that a casual interest in horse racing is one thing, but horse breeding is terribly addictive. It's a complex and risky business.
Not just a question of throwing a few genes together and hoping for the best, hmm?
Perhaps you'd like to look at the prospectus.
Ah! As long as I can find my spectacles. Now, where did I put the damn things?
You're wearing them, Andrew.
Oh, no, not these. Ah! Here we are. Got to read the small print, haven't we?
How did it feel to be finally retiring?
Can't wait, if the truth be told. Oh, I should be sorry to leave Oxford, of course, but I've got to look forward, haven't I? No point in looking back. Yeah? Yes, she's right here, as a matter of fact. Urgent call for you, Rachel.
Morning, Elaine.
Morning. How did your meeting go?
Difficult keeping owners happy at the best of times. You should know that by now, and this one was no different. Any calls?
A Miss Farrell from Cortland's Merchant Bank.
Who the hell's Miss Farrell? What'd she want?
Oh, a meeting tomorrow.
What about?
Wouldn't say. Confidential. I penciled in 11 o'clock.
Find out what she wants, and I'll let you know if I'm free.
Very well.
Anything else?
No. Oh, apart from a few calls from the press, eager to have your thoughts on the new season.
What about David Ware?
I was about to put a call through to the hospital for an update.
Get George Marshall in Nassau first. Find out if he's still interested in buying Summer Nights.
You do know you're supposed to be interviewing this morning, don't you? For the assistant trainer position.
Damn. I forgot. Who is it? Sue Lawrence. Hugo Latimer.
How'd you do?
I hope I haven't kept you waiting too long.
Only 25 minutes or so?
Oh, I'm sorry. I got mixed up in various meetings.
Thought I'd have a look at your exercise pool while I was waiting. Hope you don't mind.
No, not at all. Let me show you around.
Are any of those horses owned by Mr. Brandt?
Ocean Winds, the chestnut filly, and Raw Silk, the 4-year-old gelding.
So, he has a total of 6 stabled at Arkenfield.
That's right.
For the moment. Any idea of their approximate value?
500, maybe 600,000 pounds. But most of that would come from Dangerous Lady, the 3-year-old filly you saw earlier. And she's not solely owned by Brandt.
Oh?
No, I own 8%, Joe 2%, a third party 41%, and Brandt holds the largest, though a minority shareholding of 49%.
You sound more like a banker than a trainer, Mr. Hardy. Thank you for showing me the gallops. I'd like to take another look at the stables again, if that's possible.
Of course. See them home for me, will you, Joe?
Hey, Emma, how come you didn't get off again?
If Raw Silk flicked his tail, you'd be off yourself, Danny, so I wouldn't criticise if I were you. You couldn't even ride Mo's bike.
Shove it.
Arkenfield's comprised of how many acres?
175.
Any idea of the current market value?
No. You were saying back there that Brandt's horses would be stabled at Arkenfield for the time being?
Depends on the official receiver.
Surely your bank must have a say.
Considering the scale of Mr. Brandt's debt, a very big say.
What is the situation as far as Arkenfield's concerned?
Well, the bank will certainly be looking to me to protect its interests.
What about my interests? I've got interests to protect in Arkenfield too. My staff, our livelihoods.
I realize all of this is very difficult for you. And if it's any consolation, I sympathize. But under the circumstances, there may well be no option but to liquidate Mr. Brandt's assets.
In which case?
I'm afraid Arkenfield will have to be sold, along with Mr. Brandt's horses. And you'll be evicted.
Joe, is the governor all right? As far as I know. Why? Just doesn't seem too happy this morning, that's all. And he won't be too happy unless you lot get a move on. Hey, walk him home, get them done over. With a bit of luck, you might just make it to the pub to get me a pint in before closing time.
How long were you actually in France?
Almost 3 years.
With Christian Bavière?
No, I was his assistant for 8 months.
Before that?
I worked at several stables around France.
Yes, I noticed from your CV. Seems to be a year missing.
I travelled around Europe for a while.
Did you enjoy working for Christian?
Very much. He's an excellent trainer. I learned a lot from him.
Is he putting Asimab in for the Ark?
He could be in with a chance.
Possibly. Any other prospects?
I think that's a question you should ask Mr. Bavière, Mr. Latimer.
Not that I'm after information from the opposition, of course.
No, of course not.
And even if I were, you don't strike me as the type who'd provide it.
No, Mr. Latimer, I'm not.
Damn it, man! Don't walk around with your eyes shut and one hand on the reins. And put that bloody cigarette out or I'll put you out. Absolutely essential, especially for assistant trainers to maintain good discipline. Not a problem for you.
Not at all.
Beneath that charming, discreet exterior, a woman of steel, eh?
When required.
Well, good to have met you, Sue. I'm obviously seeing a few more chaps, but I'll be making a decision by the end of the week. Give me a call on Friday. I'll let you know what the situation is.
Thank you, Mr. Latimer.
Thank you. David. How are you feeling?
tired.
When I heard about it,
Look, I'd really like to rest, Rachel, please.
I won't stay. I was talking to the doctor. He says you could be out in a few days.
Does he? That's interesting. Thanks for letting me know, Rachel. I appreciate it.
David.
David what? What the hell are you doing here, Rachel?
I wanted to see you. I wanted to see you're all right.
Oh, be careful. I might start to think you care.
I do.
How touching.
You're impossible, David. Look, if we're going to find any common ground, you've got to get rid of that chip on your shoulder.
I'll have a word with the doctor about it.
Oh, grow up.
Oh, have I upset you again, Rachel?
Yes. Yes, you have. Your father would be upset if he...
Would he?
I'm trying, David, but I can't do it on my own.
Arkenfield Stables? No, I'm sorry, Mr. Hardy's not available at the moment. Can I take a message? Any idea where the governor is, Mo?
I think he's in his flat. What time did you finish for lunch?
Oh, in a few minutes.
Okay, I'll see you over at the Dog and Gun.
All right. Mr. Hardy? Mr. Hardy?
Yeah?
Oh, sorry, I'll come back later.
That's all right, Emma. What is it?
Well, Colonel Smythe just phoned and, well, he's decided to place Rosica with another trainer.
He's what?
Well, I asked him if he wanted to speak to you, but he wouldn't. I mean, I didn't say more than a few words to him, Governor, honestly.
Sorry, no one's blaming you, Emma. No need to get yourself upset about it, really.
Oh, well, I can't seem to do anything right this morning. And that poor driver.
That's right, I checked with the hospital. He's not badly injured. Don't worry, he'll be fine.
Even the word process is playing up. And when I got that phone call, I didn't know what to do.
Did Colonel Smythe give a reason why he wanted to take Rosica away from Arkenfield?
No. He just said he'd be making arrangements to collect the horse tomorrow. And then he hung up on me.
Better give him a call, see if I can find out what the problem is.
Well, unless there's anything else you want, is it all right if I go to lunch now?
Yes, of course it is. I've got an appointment in town this afternoon. I'll be back around 3 if anyone wants me. Thanks, Emma.
Okay.
You won't stay to lunch?
Oh, I should get back, Andrew. Much as I'd like to. I have the valuers coming to assess probate at 2.
Really sorry to hear about your mother, John.
She had a good, long life.
Lived every day to the full, as I remember. Well, however long I have left, I intend to do the same. So don't forget to ask your lady friend to put me down for a shareholding in that breeding scheme of hers.
Just for the record, Rachel is not a lady friend, just a friend.
Oh, there's a difference?
Yeah, there is absolutely nothing between Rachel and me.
I didn't suggest there was, dear boy. You did.
Well, and don't go reading anything into that, either.
Difficult when you're so defensive.
I wasn't aware that I was.
See what I mean? Well, whoever she is, friend, lady friend, lover, I think she's perfectly charming. Let me know how her stepson is, won't you?
Of course.
Pity she had to dash off like that.
Indeed.
Incidentally, if you haven't found a buyer for that yet, I may well have someone interested.
Oh? Who?
What sort of price are you after?
I'm open to offers.
Well, leave it with me and I'll come back to you on it.
Fine.
Good to see you again.
And you, Andrew.
I'll be in touch.
Look forward to it.
you go.
Thanks, Joe.
Thanks.
Want a straw for that, man?
Unusual for you to know, isn't it? On the mineral water? Seen you down in pints as well as any man.
Better? Having problems with the weight?
No.
You sure about that?
Positive.
I'm not as green as I'm lettuce looking, you know.
Look, I'm not having a problem as such. It's just, well, yes, if you must know, then I am trying to lose a few pounds, all right.
Pass us a ketchup, will you, Nick? And a diuretics for Mo.
And there's no way I'd ever take people's.
There you go.
What are you drinking, Emma?
Lager, please.
Danny, you heard the lady?
Thought you were in the chair.
That was last time. Same again for Nick and me, lager for Emma.
Oh, nothing for you, I suppose.
So what sort of mood was Governor in, Emma?
He seems all right.
See, I told you to have nothing to worry about.
Well, I'm not so sure about that. Who's James Brent?
Godfather of Arkenfield. Why?
Well, it's just a couple of reporters were hanging around the yard. I mean, they wanted to speak to the governor, but they asked me if I had any comment to make.
About what?
His disappearance.
Whose disappearance?
James Brent's.
What's going on, Joe? Come on, out with it.
From hospital.
How is he?
He's all right, thank God. Physically, at least.
Are you all right?
Oh, yes.
I should have come with you.
I just can't deal with him.
Well, at least you try.
Did you say that again?
I trust this means that you'll still be able to make it tonight.
Of course. No way I'd miss Harriet's do.
It would mean a lot to her. Look, I have a couple of valuers in, so I'd better go.
Sure. 6:30-ish?
Fine.
Thanks for calling, John. I really appreciate it.
So, there's nothing else you want to see, gentlemen?
No, I think that's all we need for now. Thank you, Mr. Gray.
When can you let me have the facts and figures?
We'll try and get back to you by Friday at the latest.
Yes, I'd appreciate it. I'd like to dispose of the estate and contents as soon as possible.
Yes, of course. Well, thanks for your time.
Pleasure.
Hello, Hannah. Any calls?
Mr. Hardy from Arkenfield would like a word when it's convenient. Otherwise, no, nothing of any importance. But you do have a visitor to see you.
Sue!
Hello, Rachel.
How are you? What a surprise! What are you doing here?
All right, Governor.
Yeah.
Emma said you might be up here. Didn't know if you wanted to be on your own, or if you could do with someone to talk to.
I just needed some time to think, Joe.
How'd you get on the bank?
The manager's visiting the yard tomorrow to go over it all. Quite frankly, I don't hold out much hope. He doesn't seem to know one end of a horse from the other, let alone how a racing stable operates.
Just what we need.
Yeah, it's crazy. The amount of money this is worth. I don't understand. I'd hope the bank would accept it as collateral for a loan.
One thing you ought to know. Down at the yard, they've started asking questions.
I'll speak to them. Let them know what's going on. They've got their futures to think about, too. And you, Joe. If you want to start looking round, I'll understand.
Sure, I've been looking around all my life, Governor. Damn the bit of good it did me. You know, years ago, I used to dream of being a trainer. Owning my own racing stable. But, well, it just wasn't me. I'm not bothered about it now. I'm quite content where I am, thanks very much. I suppose at the end of the day, I just didn't have what it takes to pull it off. But you do, Mike. Oh, yes. You can go all the way.
Ooh. What's all this in, Ada?
Oh, I'm on my way to a wake. Some sort of celebration for the life and works of old Ma Gray. Likely to be a few owners there, so I thought I'd stick the old face in. Decided to pay you a visit on the way.
Appreciate it.
Lucky man, David, from what I hear, to walk away from that accident.
That's for sure.
How long are you in for?
I should be out on Thursday. First thing I'm going to do is head straight to my solicitor's office and file a negligence claim.
Against Arkenfield?
My car's a write-off. I could have been too. Believe me, I'm going to nail whoever's responsible for this to the wall.
No time for recriminations now, David.
Oh, that's rich coming from you, Hugo. I mean, Mike Hardy isn't exactly one of your favorite people now, is he?
I'm not trying to set myself up as a racing manager. If I were, I might decide to be a little more reasonable. Never know when you might want to do business with Arkenfield. If Mike Hardy stays in business, that is.
Do you know something I don't, Hugo?
James Brandt's empire. Looks as if it might be put into receivership.
You're kidding me.
Wish I was. Got a few shares. Could lose out myself.
What happened?
Well, I don't know. He got into a sort of mess, and it could present certain opportunities.
What about the classics, Hugo? Any hopes?
A few, but I'm not making any predictions.
Yvonne. How lovely to see you.
And you?
Well, where's that husband of yours?
I think he headed straight for the bar, as always.
I better go and say hello. Hugo, why don't you introduce Yvonne to everyone?
Yvonne, how are you? It's been ages.
Hasn't it?
Now, who don't you know?
Ask Mike what he thinks.
Well, you'd certainly learn a great deal working for a man like Hugo. I know I did. Runs an efficient yard, could do a lot worse.
And a lot better.
Trouble is, Mike doesn't trust Hugo. Nor do I. So I'd stay clear and look elsewhere.
You know, you're making Mr. Latimer sound like a very dangerous and interesting man.
Want to tame him? Lots of women have tried.
Don't worry, my only interest in Hugo Latimer is as a trainer.
John? John, I don't think you met my niece, Sue. Sue Lawrence, John Gray.
Pleasure.
How do you do?
How are you, Mike?
Fine. Quite a party.
Glad you could make it. And all of you. And I hope it brings a smile to your eyes, wherever you may be.
I'm sure it will.
Well, it ought to. She's just a win at Newbury. So it's an appropriate send-off.
Rachel tells me it was a condition of her will. What a lovely idea. If a little unusual.
It's nothing compared with one other little conditions she made.
Hugo Latimer's lads didn't seem to think so.
What do they know? Obviously heard we might be out of a job. Just putting the boot in. Ignore him.
I still can't believe it. I've only been here a week.
No one said anything about losing a job.
Yeah.
Hey, I hear Hugo's looking for an assistant. Wonder if I should apply.
No chance.
It doesn't hurt to try.
You know what you lot sound like? Rats deserting a ship. Look, stick with the governor. He'll come through.
Our next volunteer is Joe Hogan. Oh, come on, Joe.
Oh, geez, here, thanks very much, mate.
Magnificent creatures they really are.
Just careful, Mr. Newman. They also bite.
How many horses do you actually have stabled here, Mr. Hardy?
18 at the moment, with a potential capacity of 40. So given the current state of racing in this country, that's a reasonable turnover.
It would have to be. Cover the overheads of running a stable this size.
Yes, but if I can attract new owners... Rachel.
Sorry, I'm a bit late.
My bank manager, Mr. Newman, Rachel Ware.
How do you do?
Good to meet you, Mrs. Ware.
Was there anything else you wanted to see?
Oh, no, I think I now have a fair idea of your facilities.
Well, in that case, why don't I arrange some coffee and we can discuss business in the office, yeah?
Here's a 5 to be. A chestnut 3-year-old this one, trained in Newmarket by Michael Newbold. Ridden this afternoon by Tony Jackson.
Ah, Miss Farrell.
Thank you for taking time to see me.
Not at all. How can I help?
James Brandt.
Oh, yes. I've just been reading about him.
I gather you recently invested in one of his companies.
Unfortunately. I certainly hope the creditors get something back.
I'll be in a better position to answer that question once my bank has concluded its investigations.
Good. And you think I can be of help?
At the time of your investment, were you aware that Mr. Brandt was under any financial pressure at all?
No. Otherwise, I wouldn't have bothered investing.
Glad to hear it, Mr. Latimer. Not all people would be quite so ethical. In fact, some people might even have invested for certain tax advantages.
Oh?
Or certain gains. If they had inside knowledge of share price fluctuations.
I really don't know what you're getting at, but I think it's a matter for you to discuss with Mr. Brandt.
I'd love to, if I could find him.
It's really none of my concern.
Oh, I think you might find it could well be of concern to you, Mr. Latimer.
Really?
Especially if you were implicated.
In what?
Fraud.
I wouldn't want to invest if I didn't think it was a viable proposition, Mr. Newman.
That would still leave a 2/3 shareholding to be financed, and, well, with the greatest respect to you, Mr. Hardy, I'm afraid I don't think the bank could help.
I could understand your concern if I was trying to purchase Arkenfield outright. But surely my shareholding would be more than enough collateral for the loan.
Well, if you'll forgive me for being blunt, you'd still be absolutely mortgaged to the hilt.
Yes, but at least Arkenfield would still be in business, able to attract new owners and improve the cash flow situation. Give me that chance, Mr. Newman. I can make a go of it.
I'm sorry, Mr. Hardy. I'm afraid I couldn't recommend your proposals. It really is still too much of a risk.
There could be another way around this. Cortlands are venture capitalists.
If I approach them and find they're interested in taking a shareholding with Mrs. Ware and me...
It could be an investment for them which could grow.
Rather than utilising Arkenfield for asset stripping.
That's a good point.
And...
If they are interested... What about you, Mr. Newman? Would you be willing to consider a loan to me for a 1/3 shareholding?
Oh, I'd have to clear it with my head office, of course, but, well, in principle, I don't see why not.
Well...
I think he'll come through.
Assuming there's no problem with Cortlands?
I wish I could take a larger investment, but all my capital's tied up in the stud.
Don't worry. I find a minimum shareholding on your part quite acceptable after the problems I've had with Brandt. Not that I'd ever compare you to him, of course.
If Cortlands and Newman do bite, aren't you going to need some more staff?
Maybe.
Mightn't it be an idea to recruit an assistant?
Like your niece, perhaps?
She's perfect, Mike. She's keen, she wants to learn, and she's very smart in business. It might be no bad thing to have someone on board who'd protect your interests.
As well as your own.
Of course. We've both got a lot at stake.
I'll give it some thought.
You'll let me know if you get some news.
Sure. Thanks, Rachel.
What do you reckon? Still in business?
Hope so.
Mike? Well, Tom, say hello to your dad. Go on.
Oh, Tom! God, you've grown. You heavy.
How are you, Mike?
Shocked, to say the least. What are you doing here?
More to life.
More Passion and Power at Arkenfield next Wednesday evening at the same time, 8 o'clock.
With decisions, which road to follow, how hard to fight. Then you wake up and see there's much more to life. In acres of sky on a summer day, on a sunny summer day, and the fire burns with hope inside your heart. We are never apart. Reflections of time passing by that remind you there's much more to life. More to life. So much more to life. So just follow your heart and you'll see. If you follow your heart, you'll be free. 'Cause there's more to life. So much more to life. More to life. More to
Any thoughts about what to put in our new date?